Hi, my name is Jim Rader. I'm a writer living in Massachusetts, and I like to read a story that I wrote entitled October 1971. It's taken from a larger work, an autobiographical novel as stories, entitled As We Go Through the Years. And here it goes, October 1971. One of the worst years of my life, my 19th year, grimly peaked in October with Ma's death. 1971, hassles with a draft after deserting the National Guard, 5 weeks in 2 psychiatric hospitals, a foolhardy, spaced-out summer, unemployment. Ma, a long-time breast cancer sufferer, went into Bridgeport Hospital early in October for what they called routine tests, leaving me alone in the apartment. I last saw Ma during visiting hours. I'd never visited before, as she'd always get discharged in only 2 or 3 days. This time she'd been in for 5 days. She looked okay, a Peter DeVries novel on her lap, her roommates watching TV. "What are the doctors doing to you now?" I asked. "Nothing really new," she said. "They're trying out a new kind of radiation on me, but I don't feel any different yet." "You've been here longer than usual. I ate all the groceries, had to buy more. But, well, how do you feel? Do you feel okay?" "I'm all right," she said, touching my hand. "Don't worry, I'll be out soon." 3 days went by with no word. The hospital within walking distance, I dropped in. A desk nurse sounded like the movies, like TV. "Your mother is in intensive care now, Mr. Rader. I'm sorry, but visitors aren't allowed right now. Please call us in 2 days." I found a drinking fountain in the hallway and took a trilithon. I took 2 buses to the north end, following up on a job lead, but couldn't find the building. Trilithon replaced anxiety with depression. Overcast, unseasonably humid outside. I knew what intensive care meant, and I mourned in advance. An aide phoned me near 10 p.m. 2 days later, a quiet Monday night. "Hello, Mr. Rader?" "Yes." "Your mother has passed away. I'm sorry." I went to the hospital and signed some papers. "Would you like to see your mother?" asked the same aide. "No, I want to remember her as I last saw her." "Your mother was very brave, Mr. Rader. She often refused medication." "That sounds like her." I walked down Boston Avenue's hill, past the always dark General Electric building. Very few cars out, no pedestrians. I walked to my friend Joe Farini's house. Maybe his family would still be up, but no. Now past 11, only one light burned. Joe's room. I walked back home to Dover Street and tried consoling myself by rereading an elegiac but whimsical poem by E. E. Cummings. My father moved through dooms of love, through sames of Anne, through halves of give, singing each morning, out of each night. My father moved through depths of height. 3 hours sleep. Around 7 a.m., I phoned my Aunt Sue, Ma's only sister. Never married Sue shared a small modern apartment in Stratford with Grandma Brown, whom she supported since high school graduation. Sue came over on her lunch hour. "The rent's overdue," I said. "I could only pay some of the light bill, so that's still behind. I have to call Maura." "Jim, please settle down," she said. "We knew this was coming. I'll call your sister. I'm sure your mother paid a security deposit when she took the apartment. So long as you're out by November, There shouldn't be any problem. Oh God, Sue, I'm broke. I'll have to live with the old man in New Jersey. This news will probably put him on a major binge. It probably will, Jim, she readily agreed. But who knows, maybe this will shock him into straightening out. But don't tell him about the funeral. I'm not inviting him. No one changes that fast, and he'll show up drunk. You're right, I said, ditching my usual defense of the old man. The two hated each other. I'll sell off the car and furniture, said Sue. I mean the hutch cabinet, the desk, the TV, Lil's new bed. Those old easy chairs and that couch are just too shot. Okay, I'm going to need $5 for food, Sue. My unemployment check is due in a couple of days. Okay, but this is a loan, she said. Money doesn't grow on trees. She reached into her purse, gave me 4 ones and $1 in change. My relationship with Sue had often been marked by misunderstanding, but we now worked together during a rough time. I flashed back to a long-gone summer, 3rd or 4th grade. In her 2-piece dark blue swimsuit, Sue would take Maura and me to the beach. Ma's younger, plainer sister, though short and graceless, had something, a stony allure that excited then shamed me. As I grew, we argued more. During the worst fights, she'd inevitably throw the same chapter of ancient history at me. The Christmas of 1957, when I asked her to buy me a fringed Davy Crockett jacket, a year after the Davy fad faded. She instead bought me a pair of cowboy boots that I ungratefully threw across her living room, smack against the ventilator. Sue always wore dark-framed, severe glasses. We shared a superficial, ephemeral bond when I first got glasses. The rest of the family 20/20. Despite the fringed jacket incident, she'd ask me every November what I wanted for a holiday gift. When I turned 17, she obliged my request of Ron Paget's new translation of Apollinaire's The Poet Assassinated, replete with chic, sometimes suggestive photos by Jim Dine. But I doubt she opened the book before wrapping. Typical of her age group, she took offense at my long hair and, quote, femme, unquote, hippie clothes. For God's sake, Jim, she would say, try to look like a man. Presently, our post-mortem discussion pleased Sue. She said I coped well, but this was a necessary form for dealing with my sister, who I knew would arrive in a million pieces. On Wednesday evening, Maura arrived in a million pieces, upsetting my modest dinner of pan-fried cube steak and boiled carrots. The bell rang. Ding dong. I opened the front door. Maura fell on me as if fainting. Jimmy, oh God, Jimmy, I just saw Mommy, wasted down to nothing. I just kept asking, is that my mother? My reaction less tormented, as I had declined visiting Ma's atrophied cadaver, I maintained level-headedness. Could have run for president. I gently pushed her off and led her and her boyfriend Tucker into the living room. She slumped into an uncovered easy chair. Sue had removed the slipcovers to sell them. Moore examined the recent apartment, her first look. This is a nicer area than Park Street, she said. What are the neighbors like? I wouldn't know. What are you going to do with your paintings, Jimmy? Asked Tucker. Jesus, Tucker, why bring that up now? Asked Maura. Tucker surprised me. I'd forgotten all about several paintings in the basement studio, 4 awful little ones on cheap canvas panels. warped from furnace heat. Then there was one not bad, larger, pre-stretched canvas. All 5 paintings, color field efforts. What a time to bring anything up, I said. Tucker, you want the paintings, you can have them. I want just the big one. Oh, you like that, huh? I brightened. It's called Main Street. Well, it's not bad, but I want to paint white over it and reuse it. I lit a cigarette and deliberately blew smoke in his face. Gee, thanks, Tucker. Maura rolled her eyes and sucked in a tooth. Tucker, this isn't the right time. Oh, I was just teasing, Jimmy, he explained. Then to me, I do like that painting. I thought you were getting somewhere with that one. Why did you quit? Well, I like paintings, but I hate painting. It's messy as hell. Writing is much neater. Moore got up and paced around. Jimmy, give me a cigarette, please. I lighted her and she continued to pace and pose dramatically, Betty Davis style. What's going on with the funeral? She asked. Is there any update? Did you talk to Daddy yet? The funeral's happening fast on Friday, I said, and nobody calls the old man till after it's over. Sue is afraid he'll come crashing and drunk, and I agree. The old man? What did you call Mommy? The old lady? Morris shrieked, then started crying again. Tucker looked down at the fresh cigarette in his mouth and carefully lighted it. It's pick on Jimmy time again, he announced like a children's TV show host. Maura bawled, bolted through the open door to Ma's bedroom, and threw herself face down onto the white bedspread. Tucker and I stayed put, smoked our cigarettes, waited for the latest storm to let up. Sue sensibly kept the funeral a family affair. She didn't invite Ma's co-workers or old friends. Fair weather took some of the edge off an otherwise gloomy day. Tucker stayed in the apartment. Sue drove Grandma Brown, Moore and me to Stratford's Unitarian Universalist Church, Ma's last religious outlet. Moore wore a green dress, Ma's favorite color, and I wore my tawny herringbone tweed suit, Ma's high school graduation gift. These clothes, connected to Ma, depressed me, but every little goddamn thing depressed me. Even watching TV the night before posed difficulty, offered no escape. Untalented actors getting shot, beaten up, or dying in hospitals. But crueler was a vapid sitcom that prompted Tucker to feign laughter, to lighten up the bereaved, which prompted Maura to freak out again, run into Ma's room. She also slept there. Come daybreak, she described her vivid nightmares, replays of her disastrous visit to Ma's shriveled corpse. I offered her my room and she refused. She also wanted to sleep alone, so Tucker took the couch. Tastefully, Sue ruled out an open coffin. My godmother Vera, who resembled 1940s blonde actress Eve Arden, and her burly white-haired husband Ralph, a retired police captain, paid their respects. Only Grandma Brown wore black. Reverend Coachello, a good guy who helped me get through an earlier rough time, delivered the eulogy in his stately oratorical baritone. Moore loudly sobbed and swayed throughout the eulogy. I had to hold her up. Sue caught this, gave me a moved, approving look. After the eulogy, the small family drove to Lakeview Cemetery on Boston Avenue, not far from home. The undertaker and 2 assistants lowered Ma's coffin into the earth and the Reverend scattered ashes into the fresh grave. Farewell, Lillian, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Well-heeled Ralph then took Vera, Maura, and me to a large family restaurant on the turnpike. Maura managed 3 bites, but I gorged, the only time I tried a heavy appetizer, corn fritters.